express yoga, 30 minutes of expressing yoga. Going to begin with our breath as we always do. We allow ourselves to settle in and find our breath. If you're on a chair, I'm going to invite you to scoot to the center of the chair or bringing your sits bones to the edge of the chair so the spine is nice and long. And as we breathe here, imagine, sense, or feel the breath moving in your pelvis. So bringing your attention all the way down the spine into the pelvis and just allowing yourself to sense an anchoring taking place in your pelvis. And noticing energy in the feet as we ground our presence here and now. Bringing your attention to the spine, let's begin at the sacrum, at the base of the spine, in the center of the pelvis. Breathing, slowly begin to bring breath up through the spinal column. Maybe noticing places where the breath lands or places where the breath doesn't, or where there's tenderness or expansion. Just walking the breath up the spine. Bringing it into the back of the head, back of the skull. And settle in again with your breath. We're going to take the head now to the left shoulder. So the ear's coming to the left shoulder. And then we're slowly dropping the chin toward the collarbone and going to the right side. So the ears are aiming toward the shoulders when we get to the side. And then we scoot back down and travel to the other side. So we're going back and forth. I'm going to do this about 5 or 6 times. Is your breath still moving as you do this? Are you noticing perhaps the sensation not just around the neck, but also into the middle of the back? You might even notice sensation all the way down to the sacrum. We're just going back and forth, and then the next time you're on the left side, pause here. We're going to take the left hand and rest it on the right side of the head. We're not pulling though. We're just resting the hand there. Giving just a little extra oomph to the stretch. And then we release that hand. And now we take the ear toward the right shoulder. And then the right hand comes up to gently cup the head. You might notice when you're doing this tractioning that one side has more intense experience than the other. And then we release the hand and we come back to center. We're going to do shoulder circles now. So let's start on the left side. We're going to bring the shoulder up, rotate it forward, slide it down, and then rotate it backwards. We're going to see if we can turn this into a circle. So while you might be making big motions, if you can make them smaller, you might actually find a circle. Switch directions. And then pause and switch sides. We take it to the right side, lifting up, rotating back, down and forward, making this a smaller motion in order to sense a circle so that the whole shoulder capsule is explored. And then we're going to switch directions, going back, up, and forward. And one more time. And then we pause, shake it out. Bringing the attention to the right leg, we're going to cup our hands underneath the thigh. We're going to lift this leg, circle the ankle to start with in one direction, and then the other. And now we're going to extend that leg, flex the foot, and push through the foot. So that leg is long, strong, and supported, and we're pushing through the heel of the foot. And you're going to feel it all the way up into your pelvis, right? Nod if that's right. Yeah. And then we're gently going to bend that leg, return it to the floor, switch sides. Left leg rises, circle the ankle one direction first. And then the other. And then we're going to extend that leg. And we push through the heel of the foot. We have a nice flexion in the foot. Those toes are coming back toward the knee. And breathe here. And then we're going to just gently release that to the floor. Sliding the hands out, we're cupping the knees as we come into an arch. We're doing a cow arch now. So we're cupping the knees as we lift our heart, curve in the low back, and head lifts. And then we're going to slide into cat. This time, take your hands behind you, hold the chair to create a deeper press of the arch toward the back of the chair. Breathe in, come forward, back to cow. And then on the out breath, we're going to slide back. Hold the back of the chair to draw that cat arch a little bit closer to the back of the chair. Breathe in, come forward. And on the out breath, we're coming back. Pausing here. Walk the feet back. We're going to come to standing now. So if you're on the floor, travel up to standing. We're going to rise. We're going to come through chair. So our bum is sticking way back. And our arms are coming up. We're going to press the floor away and gently, slowly walk forward. See if you can feel the whole foot, the heel, the ball mound, and the toes. Come to the end of your mat, pause, then walk backwards toward the chair. Make it slow. And then when we get back to the chair, we're going to do some chair sits. We're going to do these without sitting down though. So we gently press our pelvis back. Arms float up. Pretend like we're sitting in the chair, but don't sit down all the way. Arms can be at shoulder height. Arms can be at the waist or bracket the head. Pause here. Feel the heat in your thighs. And then slowly lift a couple inches and then sit back. Lift again. Sit back. Lift again. Sit back. One more time. And then the arms float up and the arms float down. And we come to Tadasana, mountain pose. Pause here. Breathe here. Now step or hop your feet as wide as your mat or a little bit wider. Hinge forward, bringing your torso parallel to the floor. Pause here. Notice the stretch in the back of your legs. If you'd like a little more, you can continue that fold forward or just pause with the chest parallel. You decide what's going to feel best for you. Then we're going to walk ourselves to the right side, holding on to the calf, the thigh, the foot. And then we come back to center. And then we travel to the left side. Nice stretch in that piriformis for a lot of us, that little bitty muscle that likes to contract and create havoc. When we come back to center, we're going to bend our knees, turn the toes out, and rise up. We're coming into goddess pose. So now the legs are open. So we're opening through the adductors and the flexors. And if it feels good, the arms can come up. And we rotate a wee bit to garden side, back to center, a wee bit toward the posters, and back to center. Going back and forth. Now, by now, your legs are probably feeling pretty hot because we've done some real work. Then the hands come back to the top of the thighs. Press into the feet to rise, straighten the legs. Toes come forward, step or hop your feet together. Pause in mountain, find your breath here. I'm going to be bringing my chair into play now. You may not need a chair for this practice. Remember, there's two levels of the chair. There is the seat, there is the back of the chair. I'm also going to be having a block nearby for a posture. If you have one, great. If you don't, no worries. Stepping up to the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, this depends on how much stretch you have here. We're going to be doing a dog cycle with a lunge. So we're going to sweep our arms up. We bring our hands to the chair. And of course, if your wrists are sore, you can always come onto your forearms. We're going to step back first with the right foot. Find that lunge. This may feel like enough information. If you'd like a little more, we're going to lift our hands up and come into Warrior One. Find that nice curve in the back if you can. And now the hands are coming back to the chair. Step back with the other foot So now we have both feet back. We're in a dog. When we're here, we're going to lift the sits bones toward the sky. On the next in-breath, bring that right foot forward, and our left leg is back. Coming into a lunge on the opposite side. When we're lunging, see if you can pull the extended leg that's in the back, see if you can lift behind the knee. This may be enough just to hold the lunge. If you'd like a little bit more, we're going to rise up into Warrior One. Then the hands come back to the chair. We're going to step back into down dog. Stepping forward with the left foot. We're coming into that lunge again. This time you can walk over to the outside of your left thigh and turn to the left. Keep that back leg long and strong. Come back to center, step back into down dog, and then step forward with the other foot coming into that lunge. Hands can walk to the right side of the chair or to the thigh, and we're twisting. Getting a nice twist here. Feel the balance being challenged perhaps. And then we come back to center, hands on the chair, step back into down dog. Breathe here, 3 cycles of breath. And when you've found your 3 cycles, we're going to come back to standing in mountain. Maybe sweeping the arms up, open, and then back down to mountain. So now we're going to do the posture called lizard. If you're on the floor, you're walking that foot to the front of the mat and the hands to the inside of the leg. If you're on a chair, we're going to take that left leg and we're going to bring it up onto the chair and we're going to scoot the foot back. Again, if this feels like too much, you can come back to the lunge, or if you have a block, you can elevate the foot on a block. Your choice. Be very cautious coming up and down out of this posture, but you're going to feel a deep stretch in the hip flexors. Breathe here. Now bring your hands to the inside of your foot if it's not already there, and then we're going to hinge back, straight leg, foot flexed. Woohoo! The party's on, people. Here we are. And then slowly slide that foot off. We're back in a variation of down dog. And then we're going to come back up into mountain. Pause here. Switching sides. Now we're going to take that right leg up onto the chair, onto the block. into a lunge, 3 variations, and if you're on the floor, walk that foot to the edge, hands on the inside of the foot. So we settle in here, allowing the body a nice deep stretch with breath. Anyone holding their breath? Wave at me if you discovered you were holding your breath. Yeah, there you are. And then slowly we're going to hinge back, coming onto the heel of the foot on the chair or extended in front, warming up those hamstrings, strengthening and loosening them a little bit. Nice flex in the foot. Then we're going to slide that foot off and come back into a variation of down dog. And now we're stepping up and we're coming back to mountain. We're going to take our feet wide again, maybe as wide as the mat, maybe a little wider. So we started here. This is called Prasarita, which always made me think we should flamenco dance or something when we do Prasarita. Toes are forward. We're hinging forward again, pausing with the chest parallel to the floor. Or maybe the hands are coming underneath the shoulders now. You might notice that you have a little more fluidity and flexibility in your body. Walk the hands to one side, holding the thigh, the calf or the foot. Back to center, switching sides. Back to center. Bend the knees and turn the feet out. We're going to come back up into goddess pose. So it's a squat. And then the arms come up. And maybe you notice there's a little more flexibility here. Breathe. Maybe you want to go up and down a little, yeah. And then we're going to pause. Rest those hands behind you on the sacrum. Turn the toes forward. Press the floor away. Come up to standing. And now press the pelvis forward. Pretend like your hands are in your back pockets and we're doing an anterior tilt with our pelvis. We look over one shoulder, the other side is going to move forward when we're looking over the left shoulder, for instance. The right side moves forward. Back to center. Switch sides. Back to center. Then we're going to step or hop our feet together, and we're back in mountain. Sweeping the arms up, reach to the sky. Then fold forward to the knees, to the shins, to the floor. Breathe in and sweep up. Breathe out and fold again. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and fold. And now we come back to mountain and we pause here. And we're going return to our chair for our closing Shavasana. And so I invite you, when you come to your chair, before you just sit down, walk yourself back towards your chair. We're going to do a few chair squats before we sit. So we're sitting and rising, and sitting and rising, and sitting and rising. And one more. And now we're going to take a seat. We've talked before about the importance of strong quadriceps being one of the indicators of whether or not, as we age, we'll be able to live independently. So we want to keep those quads nice and strong. I'm going to invite you to your breath again. Feel yourself and an awareness of your pelvis, where we started by bringing our attention to our pelvis, to our feet, and now with your breath, gently walk from the base of your spine up into your head. Walk your breath up, one vertebrae at a time. And when you've found the crown of your head, allow your breath to return to a normal cycle for you. The thought for today is from Hafiz. Your heart and my heart are very, very old friends. We open our arms wide and we gather all the blessings that already exist, and we draw them with gratitude and appreciation into our hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.